Well, just so you know, I'm going to have a cat in my lap throughout this, so hope you guys are fine with that. So we're here to talk about the ban list. Well, more of the ban list predictions. So in terms of what I think that they are going to hit versus what they don't hit, I think they pretty much made clear in that letter that they sent about a month ago, where they wanted to see what the meta was like after Infinite and Forbidden. I think that the current meta, and I'm sure most of us would agree on that, the meta is pretty much still trash. With the introduction of Fiendsmiths, Snake Eyes have been worse than ever. In fact, I dare say that they're at the worst that they've ever been, even before they banned Link Karibo. I know, I love you too, Casper. So the fact that that's the case, I think that Snake Eyes, more than anything, deserves to get the ban hammer. More than anything. So we're going to go through this. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a different format just to kind of test things out. But we're going to start out with the obvious choice of Snake Eyes Flameburst Dragon. This card from basically day one has been Snake Eyes of any Snake Eye variant's key playmaker. It's everything that they need. It helps set up your IP plays. It does recursion from the graveyard when you use that as link material or synchro material if you want to go that far. But the biggest thing that they need to do to hit Snake Eyes is definitely ban this guy. The next one, especially with the introduction of Fiendsmith, is Beatrice, Lady of Eternal. If they ban Lavavel Chain because of the exact same reason, they need to hit Beatrice, especially with Fiendsmith throwing around, because they have access to rank 6s like, rank 6 has never had before. So yeah, Beatrice, Lady of Eternal, definitely needs to get the ban hammer. They hit Curious pretty much for the exact same reason, because you are able to dump any card that you want to the graveyard, which is, crazy. This one is more of a personal choice. I think that they are going to hit True King of all, not True King, Red Archfiend Calamity before this one, because Calamity has a big place in the meta because of Crimson Dragon. But if you ban Calamity, you're not necessarily solving the main issue. You just change it, because with this guy, you have access to basically every other level 12 dragon monster that you need. I forget his name, but the big level 12, you know what I'm talking about from Red Archfiends. The Quasar monsters, you don't solve the problem, you just change it. And it was the same thing with Halqifibrax. You ban all these low-level monsters that help make the card, but you're not solving the main issue. Crimson Dragon is the main issue. Of course, they weren't going to ban it like right when it came out, because Konami wants to sell it to make money. But it's been out long enough. It's been It's been more than 3 months already. So I definitely think that this thing needs to get hit. Now, a lot of people are saying that Appaloosa needs to get hit, and I would be fine if they did. Because, setting up negations in monster form, it's not necessarily fair. It's a lot better when you do it as back row, which is basically what back row was meant for. So I'd be fine if they did ban Appaloosa, but I think that they need to hit IP more than before this. Yes, because IP helps makes this card broken, because you can make it on your opponent's turn and make it immune to destruction effects. So I'd be fine either way, but more than both of these cards, SP Little Knight needs to get out of here. It's the most broken Link 2 ever since Halqifibrax. It has massive disruption, and in combination with IP, it just makes it even more insane. Bottom line is, IP or SP needs to get lost. Now, in terms of other hits for Snake Eyes, we're getting into the limits here. That was all for what I think will and should get banned. As far as limits, Snake Eyes Ash needs to get hit to 1. Flameburst would be enough to put the deck relatively in check, but if you really want to bring down the ban hammer, then you need to hit Ash 2 to really bring it down to the Rogue level, which I think that Snake Eyes needs to go. Kind of like what they did with Tier Elements, but maybe not as hard as they did for them. But banning Flame Burge, limit Snake Eyes Ash, and I think you're good. Sanjin Summoning also needs to get limited. It's an absolutely insane broken card for Tempe Dragons, but yeah, it's an insane field spell. It needs to get hit to 1. It doesn't need to get banned because that would literally outright kill the archetype, which I don't think is fair. But you should definitely hit it to 1. If not, then put it to 2. But it needs to get checked somewhere. Gloat Bulb needs to come back. I'm biased for this, yes, because I'm a plant duelist. But now that Hauki Firebrix is banned, I think it can come back. Okay, hear me out on this one. I think that Masterpiece should come back only if they don't hit Snake Eyes or any of the other top meta contenders. Because this card sure is insane, but in terms of combating with other decks, I think True Dracos can definitely stand up to that case if you bring Masterpiece back. But that's only if they don't hit the top decks as much as I hope that they do. So it's a give and take. It should come back only if they don't hit them as hard. Black Dragon definitely needs to come back, especially if they're going the route, which I think they are, which is banning most of the monsters that have Omni Negations or basically are so generic that any deck can use them as utilities. That's why Black Dragon was banned in the first place, because Adamancipator was abusing it so insanely. But in doing that, you basically crippled every other rock strategy that's out there. For example, Magnet Warriors. While Black Dragon was around, Magnet Warriors and hell, even Rock Stun, was able to stand a chance against other decks. But ever since Black Dragon got hit, which at the time it relatively deserved, it basically crippled every rock strategy out there. So I think that if they're, banning stuff like Baron and Savage Dragon and hopefully Appaloosa and all these other cards that Synchro decks can basically abuse on their end boards, then I think Black Dragon can come back to 1, at least 1, either way. And title, well, this is more specifically for the Dragon Rulers in general. I think that they can come back to 2. Oh, what about Dragon Link? Who cares about Dragon Link right now if they're hitting, Baron and Savage like they are? Sure, Castiras are running around. Rank 7s are pretty bad. But at the same time, it's like, they don't have as much resources as they used to in previous days. So I think as a start, I think that they can come back to 2, because even now with them at being at 1, Dragon Link isn't doing anything with them. If anything, they're being used for what they should have been in the first place, which is for their attribute decks, like Waters, like Earths, like Fires, decks that needed cards like this. So I think that they can come back to 2, see how it goes. If they're still doing nothing, then they can go to 3. This one this is going to be the last one. Chicken Game should come to number 2. It's not doing anything. It's not providing any real necessary utility for any of the meta decks. Like, no deck I've seen is using Chicken Game right now. That could be because it's only at 1, but any other gimmick decks that used it in the past are basically non-existent at this point. But yeah, that's it for my Banlist prediction. As far as what can be unlimited, I guess that remains up to speculation. So yeah, if you guys like this new setup, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And feel free to let me know what you guys think of my predictions. Again, this is completely subjective and just my opinion on what I think they should and what they probably will hit. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt if you want. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, please comment down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.